anybody.
Do you want to start with the pledge?
Yeah, let's start with the
Can you
pledge.
do that?
Pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, well, everyone knows we're doing a workshop on the feasibility plan that we received back in July, dated May 14th, but no, we did get it in May. This is July. I invited the rec commission members to come, but I don't see any present. I know 2 of them reached out to me via email and said they couldn't come tonight. But certainly we'll make this presentation available to them to view and encourage them to comment on. There were a few action items that came out of the committee's report, and they are listed in our feasibility study. There were some, short-term and long-range recommendations. So I think we should just publicly say what they gave for immediate non-structural recommendations. We can discuss those, how we feel, and obviously get Danielle's input. And I see that Bob Audie is here, who was a part of this feasibility study. So there was A, B, C, and D. A was to establish a town board community-based 501c3 tax-exempt nonprofit citizen board for the sole purpose to raise money. Page 32. Sole purpose is to raise money through philanthropic donations and grants in support of the town of Washington recreation facilities and structures. The second immediate non-structural was to initiate a formal bid process to hire a professional engineering firm specializing in the design and development of the municipal recreation facilities. Action item C, non-structural, declare park access from sunrise to sunset daily. And I know that Danielle and I have discussed this and she has an update for us. And then D is to adjust park entry fees for the pool pavilion special use charges only. And again, Danielle has that update for us. And then there were a few immediate structural. A, identify and initiate a series of routine maintenance, public safety, and minor landscape enhancements to the existing structures and facilities of town park based on the annual budget process. And then there's some subcategories. B, engineer and construct a new access driveway to the park grounds from Little Rest Road to the southwest corner of the maintained park area. And C, suspend any major expenditure on town pool structure and concession building other than emergency repairs. So I would say that in the essence of time, those should be the items that we discussed tonight as our jumping off points, as they came as immediate structural and non-structural. And then we also got some long-term actions that I think we should schedule another workshop for to discuss those. Does everyone agree with that structure for tonight? Mm-hmm. Great. So Danielle, do you want to jump to the non-structural C and D, which are the declare park access and the adjust park entry fees?
Well, we were talking about the fact that the park will be open around the year, and there would be a fee for if they want to go into the pool area. So the fee would just be for pool access. Whether or not we do that with a band, a stamp, or whatever, we'll figure that out to see if we can find some waterproof stamps that we can use, or they still pay at the booth, and we can give each person that's going into the pool a band so that we know that they, are swimming, so that we can tell who's paid to get access to the pool and who hasn't.
I would also assume that it's important to know how many people you have at the pool area for like lifeguards and whatnot. Is it based on volume? I know you have the 3 lifeguards, but is it based on volume of people?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would need to know how many people are.
Right. I mean, we really haven't had to go farther than what we're doing right now. We're doing 3 to 4 of camp. Of course, camp we're doing higher, but for the public, it would be at least 3 to 4, depending on Saturdays and Sundays. Right now, we almost need up to 5.
So when do you think we can accomplish this, in the sense that obviously this season we have campers and we're not set up for this season, but when the pool closes at the end of the season, could we have the park open dawn to dusk? Like,
I
for
guess
the
you would
fall?
have to figure out who's closing that at night. So it could be open once Matt gets there in the morning, which is not necessarily dawn. and then the dusk, whose responsibility will be to close it.
So
But
dusk is basically, when you can't see, and, at the end of September, it starts to get dark at 5. So is that what we were thinking?
Well, Mike was also working on when he was trying to figure this out. He was talking about getting mechanical arms to close it
Yeah,
at some point.
Yeah.
That you can,
Other parks don't have gates. They just have a sign, open dawn to dusk, and
they
then,
also have police in their areas to police the whole thing. So I think that.
well, I don't
that
know, like,
is-
if you look at, other parks, I don't think they have necessarily have police presence right away, but what are we worried about by having it gated? Like, why do we have to have gates on the entrance? The soccer field isn't gated, is it?
No.
So people could go there
Well,
and just walk
there is a
through?
gate that you can close, which we do close when the snow is bad. And there's a risk of people falling on the track, and there's ice there. So yes, we do close that.
I think the gate is there because of the pool.
Right.
I mean, once the pool
Yeah.
closes.
Once the pool closes.
Can we backstep for a second and, because my memory is flawed? How would you prevent somebody who doesn't have a wristband going into the pool? Where do you stop them? What stops them from walking into the
We'll
pool
have to
area?
figure that out as they go.
So-
We don't know if it's gonna be just one gate open and one gate in and out. And then we're gonna have to have an extra employee there to check it.
Well, that would seem to be the sort of, if you're going to ban people, you gotta be able to monitor who's
So we're
using
monitoring them when they pull in at the, like, Berkeley.
today, but not if you give
No, I'm
it.
saying,
Yeah,
could be the
sorry.
plan. So we could ask them, as we do at the gate right now, are you here for the pool, or are you here for the park?
Right.
If so, if you're here for the pool, then you need to pay to get in, here's your band.
I got that part, but,
Right.
so I drive in just, let's say I'm just
So
not a
you're not
really
doing it.
honest person, and I drive in and say, no, I'm not going to the pool because I don't wanna
You
pay.
have to pay somebody to be at a gate to check.
Okay, that's what I'm
Well, how
asking.
much extra is the pool versus non-pool? How much?
Well, one's free.
The park is
Park
Access
is
to the
free.
park
free.
is free.
And then the pool is how much?
It depends on if you're a resident or a non-resident. So
Okay.
non-residents are $8
$8.
That's nothing.
and,
Right.
residents are 6.
Yeah.
We can,
okay.
we can discuss that.
That's
interesting.
to discuss for next, but that's,
So,
And if they
but,
say that they have a pool pass, we're gonna have to ban them unless anybody can come up with a different idea.
so I guess I want to go back to why we have gates at the entry. If the soccer field is only locked up when we have snow and people can go there why can't we just simply have the gates, leave them open, except for when the emergencies are that we need to close them, and literally just put up a sign, open dawn to dusk?
if it says open dawn to dusk, then what happens when somebody goes at dusk or later and is hurt?
I mean, other parks do it.
I'm not saying that, I'm just asking the question.
What happens if they did that today at the soccer field?
What would be the rule? I mean, what's the liability?
I would think there is a
But,
liability.
I mean, you don't,
I haven't researched it for case law, no,
Right,
not yet, but
I mean, I see other parks doing it, and we do it currently at the soccer fields. We are currently doing that.
I mean,
So-
look, the Memorial Park is also says dawn to dusk. But usually people do a sweep to clear it at the end of the day. That doesn't stop people. I don't know about the Memorial Park, the Tribute Park, sorry.
I don't
but-
know anyone's sweeping it.
But I don't know if they do. I was saying that. But lots of times there'll be sort of like somebody who's gone through to see if anybody's there, because if somebody gets hurt, the town is still liable.
Well, I'm gonna
The
ask,
village
Okay.
place both.
Can I just
Yeah.
ask,
I'm gonna ask it to be
the
heard.
village,
So-
please?
if we
They're there too.
post it and they're violating what we post, we're still liable?
You can be, yeah.
We can.
You probably are, because you've done nothing to prevent them. Sort of like, especially kids. I'd have to research this. I've never researched this particular liability issue. But it's the idea, for example, if my analogy would be if you have a facility that has a pool and you don't put a fence around the pool and somebody decides to jump in your pool, even though you say this is my private property, and this is well-developed case law, you're liable. It doesn't matter. If you have a pool on your property and somebody jumps in and gets hurt, you're liable.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you say.
Can we all agree if someone wants to get into the pool, the gates are not the thing that's gonna stop
But-
them from getting into the pool? Can we
Yes, but
agree on that?
that's, the law is different. The state requires that you fence in a pool for just that reason.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, we can have all the gates in
Oh,
the
they can
road.
climb
If someone
over
can
it,
climb
sure.
over and get hurt and we're still liable, that case, we should close every park. we should just start closing our parks because we don't want to have the liability.
No, well, that may be, I don't know if there is, but I would think there could be. Sorry, that's the thing I think about, that's, I
You
can't.
know, it's, these are things we have to discuss.
So in my mind, public
Yeah,
access is
reliable.
important for parks.
I don't have a problem with the parks being open, I just don't, and I'm not convinced you have to have a gate. Most of the parks I know say dawn to dusk. Some of them have barricades to shut them down, but the pool is isolated from that so that you can't possibly get to the pool easily.
Well, our pool is
Easily.
fenced. But, I mean, you literally could jump over the fence from the road.
How high is the fence? It's not a very high fence, I
Is
guess.
it a 4-foot
when
fence, Danielle?
Hmm?
48-inch fence? The black chain link fence around the pool, 4 foot? And that's from the road. That's not even to the gates.
Okay, well, that's a whole separate issue that we'd have to look at, and if you're gonna redo the pool, you think about it anyway, but that's a different story.
So, we also charge for pavilion use, right? Up in, and then so we keep it open and people are using the pavilions without paying. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you,
Well,
enforce
people
that?
could use the pavilions any day
they can,
that it's opened. We're not stopping them.
but they pay,
But
To use them.
if somebody wants to use them, then we have to say, if there's somebody who happens to be in there during that day, we have to say to them, sorry, this is being rented
So
out.
see.
what's to
I
stop
see.
somebody, let's just say, nice teenagers with a driver's license at 10 o'clock at night, taking a 6-pack of beer and going and using a pavilion if the park is open? The park is supposed to be closed, but there's nothing to stop them.
What's to stop them from jumping the fence and taking a 6-pack of beer and sitting in the pavilion?
The jumping of the fence is a little bit more effort.
Okay, what's to stop them from parking at the soccer fields, walking down the path and getting on the pavilion tonight?
Probably nothing.
Right, tonight they could do that.
I'm just asking. That's my job.
But aside from the pavilion rentals, why would anybody want to go in there?
Because they're bored, there's someplace to bring a 6-pack.
Exactly, that's exactly what it
I
is.
don't know.
versus their backyard.
Well, not if their parents
I mean,
say
in the
don't
village,
drink,
they're not
you
gonna
know.
do it in here because there's more presence. Out there,
nobody's around.
nobody's around.
Nobody's gonna know they're back there unless the cops go by and happen to see the
So
light.
essentially, we're
See
gonna have
some
to be
lights.
security. We're gonna have to have
Well, we
cameras,
could
right?
reach out to the county sheriffs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They do have a patrol out here. We could reach out to the state police and say, we would like to open our park dawn to dusk. When you're out here, could you do a drive-through? I don't think it's unreasonable.
No,
and I
that's
think that
fine.
our county sheriff and our state police are more than happy to help municipalities.
I'm not objecting to it,
I
don't
think it's
misunderstand.
worth at least trying it.
Yeah,
Can
You
we
may not
agree
get
to
very
add
many-
It's worth-
cameras?
I think at least
Could we-
trying it.
Could we agree to add cameras so that if,
Security cameras, sure.
before we make this happen?
And then who would be monitoring the
Yeah.
cameras?
They would, go to your phone?
They
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or at least
Yeah.
we have it.
I think it should go to a file storage, and if we have an issue, that deletes every 2 weeks, and if we have an issue, then we can figure out, we can access the file, but I don't think should be sitting here, an employee, we should expect an employee to be watching.
Okay,
Cameras
so
on the phone.
how usually that works is when people go in front of a camera, then you get an
He gets
alert.
a ping.
So you're not really looking at this just to see.
I don't think that's a
You know,
reasonable
Well,
expectation.
no,
you
no,
see
but
what I mean?
if
Yeah.
the cameras are live, so in other words, if you have the cameras live only after dusk, for example, between dusk and dawn, you could have it ping anywhere just so somebody's aware of it. Whether you respond to it or not, you're aware of it, and you've got the video
And you
if
got
something
You
goes
can,
wrong.
exactly.
Do you guys
review
honestly
it.
feel like that is a reasonable expectation of an employee of the
She's
town?
volunteering.
I do not. I do
No, I'm
not
not
feel like
volunteering, but
her
it
phone should
does-
be pinging
it
at
does have
3
a point.
a.m. and she has to respond to it. No, it should
No,
be.
she doesn't have to.
Nobody needs to respond to it.
no.
It's just keeping
it's
it in a
not a
place where it
reasonable-
can be reviewed.
But
not
if
a
something
reasonable expectation.
happens and we wanna understand what happened the night before, we can at least review.
You can-
Exactly.
But it shouldn't be pinging your phone. It should be literally going on a storage unit electronically. And if there's an incident, then you can go back and view it. It should not be pinging your phone at 3 a.m.
Since I have not done this kind of research for a municipality of any sort, and there's all sorts of different things, I don't remember anything in the insurance policy that would address this because we have never raised the dawn to dusk versus dusk to dawn. And I would ask the question what the coverage is when the park said, if the park says it, we should ask them. I have to get back to him, he finally called me. But But I would see if Kyle happens to know the answer to the question. I wouldn't ask him to do the research, but if he knows the answer about what is a town park's liability, if in fact it says it closes at dusk, but there's nothing to prevent access, does he know of anything? He may know off the top of his head. If he doesn't,
And where does our insurance?
well, I said, I'll have the conversation with, what's his name, Joe? Joe Gross, because I want to ask him also about the liquor liability and getting the adjunct insurance, getting it cheaply, because it can be done cheaply.
All right, so
Discuss
there's
that
a
I'm
few
in
things
favor
we
of
have to
cameras, I'm not in
investigate.
favor of it pinging your phone, I don't think that's. a
So I think you
reasonable-
have multi-different ways to view
Right.
this.
Yeah.
I think you have the opportunity, if
Yeah, if you wanna
somebody
be-
calls and says, hey, somebody's at the park,
I
then
think
there's
we should,
access.
right, I think we should work on getting a company to come in and give us some ideas on
So,
what to do.
so I think where we're leaving it is, the idea of leaving it open dawn to dusk is perfectly acceptable to all of us, right? Is that true?
In
Right.
concept, yes.
Yeah. And how you deal with the pool is gonna be a different issue, but you'll have to figure that out.
So you're gonna investigate, is that right?
The pool or the
Insurance,
other stuff?
The insurance.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna
the
talk to
all
Joe
that.
about that.
So you're gonna,
Yeah.
okay. So we'll discuss this further after you tell us
Right.
your findings. Okay. Right, next.
Okay, so that was the declare park access, where everyone, but we're also gonna look at cameras. The just park entry fees, Danielle, do you wanna talk about that?
I'm not quite sure what we would adjust on that. I mean, we could look at it and think and see what more we want to charge.
I guess we don't know, besides what you just told us, the fee schedule. Can you email us all the current fee schedule?
Sure.
Does everyone?
I thought it was 125 a season for the pool
But
pass.
there's day passes, there's
It's
resident, non-resident.
160 for
Oh, it's
residents
went
and
up.
225 for non-residents.
Right.
How many pool passes do you generally sell, do you know, more or less, average?
Well, we have close to 100 this year. Last year it was about 57.
Okay. And then you also have a number of day people, right?
Right.
Okay.
Which I can give you a report of what we have so far.
So that doesn't sound like a lot out of a town of 4,000. I mean, granted, a lot of people have their own pools, but just doesn't sound
The
like.
only, it says adjust park entry fees, and then the subtext is pool, pavilion, special use charges only. So maybe we should find, like, what are you charging for the pavilion, 75?
Oh, no, 175 and 225.
Okay, for non-residents. Okay,
175 for
That's
residents
similar,
and
huh?
225 for non-residents.
okay, that
So-
seems reasonable to me, I don't think we need to.
So Danielle, was there a
It seems
discussion
nominal
that
to me, but
that
okay.
caused,
The
a
pool stuff
discussion about
seems
fees
very
that
nominal.
caused that
And
to
if we ever
appear
get a
in
better
this
pool, it's way
report
too nominal.
as a recommendation?
I guess we could adjust it according to what we need to.
No, I guess what I'm asking is it shows, it shows here's a,
Discussion about the fees during our meetings.
Do you recall it, Bob?
Yeah, we just, we thought depending on what we improve,
Oh,
we may
yes,
need
that,
to,
yes.
Okay.
we may need
Right.
to adjust the fees.
I
so
would
that's more
hope
of a
so.
long-term sort
Oh,
of
yeah.
thing. All right, so that's, maybe shouldn't
So
even
right
deal
now,
with
we
that.
don't, depending on if
Right.
we do other, then we'll adjust it.
So we wanna move this action item to a long-term or intermediate?
I mean, you don't want to disincentivize people to come, but by the same token, if you're charging too little, you can't do the things you need to do.
So let's move it to an intermediate goal.
Okay,
Does everyone agree with that?
yeah,
Mhm.
that's fine.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Well, because there's,
No, but what does intermediate mean? Does
it means that
mean-
right now, we're not gonna adjust the
Not today.
fees. Not today, we're gonna move the goalpost down on that because we feel like for what we have, the infrastructure we have, that we're charging a reasonable amount for
So
this
maybe
season.
before we start doing budget stuff, that's a good time to think about it.
Perhaps, yeah.
Okay. Or at least some of it.
Mm-hmm. Is everyone good with that?
Yes.
Okay, so then let's go back up to, I feel like the thing that's going to, there's, the next two things are gonna take up some time on the intermediate non-structural. It's the 501c3 and the formal bid process. Do we wanna put those on hold and go down to the immediate structural, or do you guys wanna take the time now and discuss those?
I think we should wait.
Okay,
Wait for what? Which thing?
those two. So we can go
Till
down.
when?
Wait,
Until we
Discuss it
make,
later.
until we make more decisions about what we want to do with the park.
Those are big items.
No,
those two
I
things.
get that they're big items and I'm confused. Maybe because I'm tired, but I don't think so. That if we keep saying we're gonna wait and try and decide what we're gonna do with the park, we're just moving that down the road. I think, I mean,
So right now, we are trying to decide what to do with the park.
right,
So therefore, once we decide that,
Then
then we
you-
can decide how we're gonna raise the money.
exactly, but
So that's why Susan is saying, we'll wait on that.
I
Well,
think I
so-
said it, but,
No, I think she said it as
A,
well.
B, and C are the immediate structural. I thought we should, maybe we could review those, and then that might help us answer the first two.
An
A and
immediate
B.
structural?
So right now we're talking about immediate non-structural, and there's immediate structural. And I think if we talk about those three things, it may take us back up to those two, it might be easier to answer those
so
two.
you're talking about for discussion today, not,
Correct.
oh, okay, not till postponing the discussion. Okay,
Correct.
that's what I
was talking
misunderstood.
about. Yeah.
I misunderstood.
Let me, if I could ask a question, I'd like to know, like, what is the vision for the park? What are we planning to build at this point?
That's why we need a master plan.
Uh,
That's
there-
why we want to raise money to this master plan together, because it's pretty expensive just to do that.
So, the master plan being, like, who would develop a master plan
An engineer.
and not a planner?
Or
Some
together.
companies do have planners with their engineering firm.
But I mean, I guess I'm thinking of this like as a little larger, from a larger perspective, a different, sort of more distant one. And that is that we have a number of recreational facilities, just not town park and not just town-owned, that I think serve our community. And I'm thinking of, we've got Tribute Garden, we've got Bennett Park, we've got,
These are all village, correct?
no, I understand that. That's exactly kind of my point. We also have, there might be some school facilities that have public access. And even the library has certain recreational type programs. And I think that our programming is kind of part of the discussion of what we're going to do.
This plan that we put in place was actually only for the land.
Right, no, that's kind of, so what I'm saying is that before we decide what we're going to do with the land over at Town Park, it's really, I think we should assess what our recreation needs are. And not just, from, and not just, what that land is going to do, but what we want the community to be doing. Or what the community wants from recreation. So, we don't really have an inventory of our various recreation, what we are currently getting as recreation resources. And so we don't know, like, what the town park can really add to that. And not just in terms of the community itself. If we were to build a pool, for example, an in-ground pool, and they're building one in Millerton, will that therefore kind of dampen the demand for
We don't know if they're gonna say that only Millerton people can go there or non-residents can go, so.
I'm sure they probably, we could probably find that out, but I'm just saying, generally
Millerton's
speaking,
far as a drive when you have a family and 3 kids and you get home for a night.
I wouldn't
It
go to
could be- you
Millerton
could be
either, but I
totally
would go
right.
to the pool.
it could be, we all have our perspective on it, but if we're gonna spend $6 million and we have this great pool and nobody comes, it's not gonna be,
Well, that's it. You have to decide where's the return on our money going to come from.
exactly. So there were a lot of things in this feasibility report as far as what people wanted in terms of recreation. And, the pool was part of it, but not overwhelmingly so. There were a lot of things. Hiking trails was a very big one, pickleball, of course, community garden, many, many things. And we don't want to duplicate things that are being done now. So it might be a good idea if we figure out how the community is being served right now, where we're lacking resources, and start from that vantage point.
There's a flaw in that logic. I'm not disagreeing with you in concept. The flaw in the logic is that when you have a town park that is a let's just say, generally encompassing facility, if you have, whether it's tennis courts, pickleball courts, hiking trails, all in sort of one location, you tend to draw more people in to use it, rather than having to go here to do one thing, there to do the next thing, and there to do the third. This is what I've learned growing up where there is a town park. The participation is higher when everybody can sort of enjoy it, and they encounter more of the people they know being in the same place. Once you start spreading it out. Now, I grant you, we have gardens a bunch of places. We don't need a garden because we have gardens, and people aren't going to a town park to go to a garden.
I don't know about, but see, that's your perspective, and that might not be absolutely the case.
I don't know that everybody's that took it. I don't think that our village and our town know where things are.
No,
Well,
they
that's,
don't.
and that's an interesting point. I
I mean, the
agree.
village just started one, the mayor's wife just started one this year, but I don't think enough people know about it yet, so.
So there's all that.
We
And
always
so,
talk about that there should be a village and town place where people can go online and see where they can look up things.
I'm really,
People are never happy with the amount of communication.
No.
It's always the number one complaint is the communication.
Maybe that's what we need, is a communications
But
director.
you can even give them communication and still people don't.
How you gonna do that? Like, the people that are 60 and up don't go online, so as like.
Oh,
I
that's
object.
not
I'm
true.
sorry, Dan.
That, being 71, I disagree with, almost 71, I
You're
disagree.
71?
I'll be
Oh,
71
yeah.
in a couple of weeks.
Well, the people that I'm seeing on our trips are saying that they are not on social media as much, so.
Maybe that's
for
what we
those
have to give them, as a
people-
social media class.
Maybe.
They have.
well, that's not,
I
but,
know they do, yeah.
but so, I mean, they have people that
Yes, I
have,
will be.
that are credentialed recreation planners, and they can do these studies, however we kind of describe it. And I see the mayor's here today, and, he may have some ideas about, bringing the village into it, so that we can have something that serves everybody and is, is comprehensive and is not, redundant. Because we want to be able to have people maximize whatever we have, and it's a great park out there.
It's a.
But we're just not, we don't know really exactly what programs to do. And you've been trying a lot of things, and, but it's just like, it's not organized, our plan. We don't really have an overarching plan about our recreation.
We do need an overarching plan and a commitment to it in terms of what it is that will best serve the community, or the community really wants. I do agree with that. I do know that any number of people have told me about the pool, although there are a few who still like the dirt bottom and the whole thing. Not as many as who want a real pool, but that's another story. But you do need something comprehensive. The bits and pieces seems to be an expensive way to approach it, and we're probably not satisfying enough of the need or the desires of the community by doing, like little bits and pieces.
Does anybody think that?
So besides the pool, is there anything else that we can go through with this study and determine whether it's a good idea to have it or not? We should, like the pool, okay, maybe it's expensive, but there's a pickleball court, there's other avenues of what we may or may not
So we
do.
did have-
We can't just,
We did have somebody on our committee that
Yes.
was a landscape architect, and she thought of things that we weren't thinking. So right now, we currently have, for example, a sand volleyball net over in an area where there isn't any other sand. So she
Yeah.
said, well, it might make sense to put the sand stuff with the sand stuff. So these were things that that no one thought about all of this time.
okay,
And all of a sudden, we were all like, well, why didn't we think about that before? So that's why the professionals, if they could come in, take this area, that's what they do, and say, well, give me an idea of what you're looking for. Are you looking for a new playground? Okay, well, what if we move the pool here, or only use half of it? Then we could take the other half and put the playground there, which leaves us open to
Excuse
do.
me, but to Susan's point, she's saying we need to find out what the people want, so to speak, right? But how do we do that effectively? Because even, what was it, Millbrook Listens only got 400 people to respond?
Well, we had, when the whole hotel issue was a big deal, and we decided to update the comprehensive plan, there was a lot of surveying that went on, and that was conducted by the consultant. And, you know, so
The
there's certain,
response to that survey was
Yeah.
poor.
no, it was actually much better than the response here. It was over
When
700
Mike Murphy
people.
was talking to an engineering company, they said, well, the first thing that we would do is survey. And it depends on the survey that you guys had. If that is good enough, then that's great. We don't have to do that, or we would suggest a survey. That would be
So-
part of
So maybe
the,
that is where we
Danielle,
start.
all right, we have this study here, or this report. But it seems to me that you're also in favor of having an engineering,
we do, because I
in addition to this?
I mean, they, oh yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
they
this-
could come up with a plan on what the potential is that we can't.
So it sounds
That's
like
their job.
if that's the route that, you would recommend, then we should have that done before we even continue with this.
And that was the reason for the
You know what I mean?
501c3, so that we could start raising money for things like that. So that
So
could
how
be
much would a
anywhere-
study cost? I mean,
Well, to have the
Like it would
master
be
plan could be starting at $20,000.
$20,000, right?
It could be even more than
We
that.
can apply for a grant or something, yeah. Okay,
There are some grants for that.
yeah,
For an area that doesn't have low income.
There could be, yeah. I mean, some grants are competitive, like the New York Plays is competitive, but it doesn't exclude people, it doesn't exclude communities that are maybe not below a certain income level average. But what happens is that communities that are, they get like extra points, so that, they
Right,
have
right.
they have an advantage. yeah.
should we draft up an RFP and put it out there just to see how much people would, how much it would cost? Should we do that?
Sure,
To
I
get an
mean,
engineer.
I think that,
It also depends on what you're looking for.
yeah, I think to limit it to an engineer, I think you want somebody that has, I mean, engineers have certain capabilities in engineering firms. Some of them have branched out and they do multiple things. But there's also planners that are dedicated to designing things.
They must have
to
an
work
engineer
with
on staff for that.
So let's take, for example, Colliers. Colliers you're using
Yes.
currently with the highway department.
Yes.
Mhm.
I met them when we went to New York City, and I spoke to them about, do they have a division for just planning for parks? They do. So I was in touch with that woman, and we talked on the phone, and she gave me some examples about some other towns and municipalities that they have worked on and how much it costs. So she went online and she checked out our space, and she said it would probably start at $20,000.
I think also too, we have to understand like, what we want the look and feel of our recreation resources to be. I mean, like, who are we looking at in terms of communities for inspiration? I mean, do we want it to be, urban, suburban, rural? I mean, those are things
I think
that,
that's what we would,
But that's part of the designing plan that you would need to do. And I'm gonna make a bold statement, I suppose. I think if you make it, let's just say if we made it for, I don't know what the right word is, urban, but if you make it look high-end enough, but it's not expensive, so expensive that it puts people off, you will get probably more traction than if it looks like it's a inner city community park.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
I
I'm
think
just saying
that's what the planner and the engineer is for. They can propose 1, 2, or 3
They
designs.
usually give you a couple options.
Yeah,
They don't say,
exactly,
this is your plan,
exactly.
go with it. They usually give you
What-
some options and some
What's your
pricing
design,
options.
I think
that's
back and
their
forth,
job.
like we did with the
Yeah.
playground,
Right.
how it was too expensive at that point. And they could give us,
Yeah,
we're looking
exactly.
for this type of.
Exactly, I don't think we have to decide today, they'll give us something. to
Absolutely
do.
not. No. No, I'm just saying that I think that whomever, people are gonna have different bents and they're gonna have their expertise kind of, it's like anybody, does anything. They probably are more experienced in one area than the other. And so we will have to decide, and it would be good also to get community input as to like those sorts of things.
I would do what across the street did, Bennett, not Bennett, Thorn Building. I would actually, once we have some ideas that we're willing to live with, that we think are great ideas, I'd post them and let people vote.
Well, I think that's probably the first step, really.
Well,
To get
you have to have the
people-
ideas first.
You
need something for them
Some good ideas.
Yeah, but you have to let them, give them something to look at rather than just
I agree.
text.
I agree.
So, you know, you get some
That would mean
drawings
that
up.
you would have to have drawings.
Yeah, exactly.
Pictures, and that's
Yeah.
what they did in that whole hotel thing. They showed people pictures like, do you like this or do you like that?
Right. And, I mean, it's a 1, 2, or 3 vote, and it's quick, I mean, it doesn't mean you commit to everything they say, but, you know, at least they feel like they're participating in the story, and they get some input, and then nobody can yell at all of us.
Well, it'll also be something that hopefully will be used. you
Oh,
know?
well, and it might generate, if the 501, if we do the 501c3, it also may generate fundraising. When they see something tangible that it's going to look, wow, I want to bring my kids there, or I want to have a party there, or whatever it is.
I think in fairness to the committee that put this feasibility study together, we should go over the immediate structure.
That's fine, that's fine.
But I want to just say, one of the reasons I thought we should pull that out and do that first is because I think most of them we can agree on that we should not do until we do a master plan. Like, for instance, engineer and construct a new access driveway to the park grounds from Little Rest Road. I'm not comfortable spending those dollars today on that until we know what the master plan of the park looks like.
Wasn't that really intended to be for camp, and camp's already half over?
Yes.
Yeah, so, they're right, okay,
So that's why I thought we could just run through those pretty quickly.
okay.
Suspend any major expenditure on town pool structure and concession building other than emergency repairs. Well, of course, we can agree to that.
Yep.
Because it's up and running and we only have 3 or 4 more weeks,
Yeah.
right? So,
25 days.
yeah. And
But-
then,
Who's counting?
identify, initiate a series of routine
Okay.
maintenance, public safety, and minor landscape enhancements to the existing structures and facilities of the town park based on the annual budget process. And I think with Matt on staff, we've done some of those. I know he's upgraded the pavilions, he's painted them, he's ordered new, you guys have ordered new tables. So I think some of those things have been completed along with a new sign, and we don't really want to put any more into it at this point. Can we all agree?
Yes.
I would agree,
Well, we were planning on updating the large pavilion the same as the small.
but if
pavilions.
you're getting in, so this is the question, Danielle. If you're gonna get an engineer in and you're going to get a new design, which theoretically, you know, some of it may take a year, it may take 3 years, I don't know, depends on part of it. But you know, is there a reason to invest in changing things if in fact we're going to make a big change?
Well, those 2 items right there, those 2 pavilions are the way we make money for the park, right? And there are people that have looked at it that said, I don't want to have a party at that large pavilion. That needs to be updated. So if we're gonna make money in the meantime, it's not inexpensive.
What's the budget on your improvements? How much do you plan on spending?
For the big pavilion, because you did the little one already.
I think it's probably $4,000 to $5,000 in the shingles. The roof has to have a new pillar because it's got a divot in it, so that has to be changed out, which is not a ton of money, and then the paint.
And then Matt's time, we have to account for that,
And
because
Matt's
that's probably gonna be at least a week or 2 of
Oh,
employee
no,
time.
so much more than that.
Yeah, so I would be comfortable tabling that improvement at this point until we have a better plan. It sounds like it's gonna be a $10,000 upgrade.
Not at all.
Well, with Matt's time,
Somewhere between, I'll compromise it, 7,500 to 10,000, let's say that.
I think it's almost the time factor that's,
Yeah.
that's
But-
Matt's time. I don't know what else he would be doing,
Yeah,
so-
or what he's being diverted
So
from.
how much use would that, let's assume you did upgrade it. It's going to take him 2 to 3 weeks to do that anyway, maybe more, right?
2 to 3 weeks, maybe if he just had that to work on,
Right, okay.
that only.
And so so he won't even be done by the time August is done. What is the usage of that pavilion between, let's say, or September and December?
Well, that's the time when he does have more time to do
No,
work.
but so
Right.
there would be no real usage of that pavilion during that
Well,
time.
people can still rent it at that point.
I get that, but it's not high usage at
No,
that
no,
point.
no, no.
Okay, so we could table it even to do it next spring before the season opens, if in fact.
Yeah,
Can
but you've got, let's say the Millbrook Marathon is in April.
Yeah.
And the snow is still there before that. So for him to work on that, there's not a lot of time between April and when the park has to get ready for the pool.
But the Millbrook Marathon should not be the driver of our taxpayer dollars for
I'm saying
budgeting.
just to let you know.
No, I
that
understand.
In the past, we had to get things ready for the Millbrook
Right.
Marathon, and there has been snow.
They also, if they had to, they could rent a tent and put a tent up there. Like, I
They
don't want,
don't use that space, I'm just saying
Right.
that the park itself isn't easily accessed because there could be snow at that
So,
point.
so I guess
Or the weather.
what I'm thinking is, let's just suppose in the next 2 months, 3 months, we were able, because I assume we could come up with $20,000 or $30,000 once we put out an RFP to have an engineer or planner
my
start
point
work.
exactly, I would rather
And-
take those dollars.
And see what they say, and maybe they say that pavilion needs to be torn down. That, you
Or
know,
moved.
yeah, right. And so you don't want to spend a lot of money doing that today. So, and that's why I was asking about the usage, because if you're gonna get high volume usage and you're gonna make, 10 grand in the next 2 months, then I get it. But if you're only gonna make, a few $100,000, it's probably not worth investing today.
You
I
know,
don't know.
we're talking about, about funding and everything. And I took a look at the parks budget, and if I'm correct, my math is right, the budget was increased by 50%, by $250,000 this year. And I'm not sure, I don't know what it's allocated for.
Increased by,
That's what could be wrong, but that's what I saw, no? By 250,000.
no,
I don't think so.
Like
No.
the town budget?
Yeah,
That
the
whole-
town rec
not-
budget.
Yeah, the rec budget, no,
All right, okay,
no,
all right,
you're
no,
mistaken.
I will definitely check
But
that.
back to the point of the pavilion upgrade, if there's some money we could save right now to put towards an RFP, I personally would prefer to spend the dollars that way, rather than investing more money in the pavilions right now.
If we do the RFP now, as opposed to waiting till March, let's say.
I would like to see that RFP, I would like us to figure it out during budget season.
Yeah, and
It's having some money that we could return to fund balance to pay for some of it.
Yeah, I mean, we could do the RFP as soon as we can get ourselves organized, and
That's what I would like to see
I'd
happen.
like to see that
But
too,
I would
because
also
I
like
think
to
you'd get a better outcome, because even a plan can be staged, so if the pavilion were to stay, let's say, they may say, let's redesign it like this, because that will be the first thing to do, because you use it a lot. Or whatever they say, I don't know, I'm making it up because I'm not a planner.
So, Bob, your committee, when they looked at those pavilions up there, and the big one that everybody wants to bring, did they deem that it needed a lot of structural repairs?
I don't remember about the structure, but, it needs to be spruced up. We need to maybe put a couple bushes around it, make it a little more appealing.
Well, that is what she was talking about, was the shingles, the paint, the pillar, I don't know about bushes, but that's what she was talking
If you don't
about.
mind me
right?
commenting,
That was what you were
I wish I knew where all the kids in Millbrook do at night
talking
or during the day, because I never see them. I never see them around, and that might be where we can find out what the kids do. So, I don't know, you know where your kids are all the time because they're little, but what about the teenage kids? I mean, we used to have, I think back.
I would
to my
include
day,
them in the survey.
I spent my whole childhood in that pool,
Bob,
on that part.
go down to Stewart's.
Okay,
Yeah, I think you're gonna get a good idea of where the
Okay.
teenagers are.
so the village used to have a bus. They used to bus the kids up to the park
That's right.
every day and then bring them back at 3:00, whatever time it was. We used to have music, swimming lessons. There was always something going on, swim team, games.
What happened to all of that?
The bus wasn't that long ago, when my kids grew up, the bus was still running.
So,
So I
back to
don't
my
know.
question, what happened to all of that?
Maybe we should talk to some of the kids and see what they would want to see
Yeah.
up there. Would they use the park?
Danielle does have music back on Sunday afternoons,
Yeah.
so
But is it designed more for the kids or more for
They need
adults?
to put an
All family.
arcade in the concession stand, with a pinball machine or something. I don't know.
I think, I just said the same thing to Danielle, but we should survey the kids, the teenagers, the 4-year-olds, not so much. But we should survey the kids to see what they would want and use at a park.
We as kids and teenagers, we didn't have any shortage of anything to do here in Millbrook. We had
A teenage pool party would be
we
fun.
had St. Joe's.
Just
at
for the teenagers.
The building in the back, you could play basketball till 10 o'clock.
The,
every
the
night.
current pool. But if it were a
You
nice
should
pool,
pool from
yeah,
10
right.
o'clock at night. and
I also think it should be
There was
more
no
money
funny
to
business,
join.
because the priest
that's-
would
yeah.
patrol it once in a while.
No, I wouldn't, I mean, it's not
Some people
pretty.
snuck over to the park and back, but, there was the Millbrook lamp post where you went to get your
I know.
hot dogs and hamburgers and hang out, get your ice cream. And the park was packed every single day, even when it was chilly out.
Mhm.
The kids were at the park, playing volleyball or hitting the baseball.
Yeah, you need
On
all
the
of
baseball
this.
diamond, we
You
played
need
ball
that
there all
context.
the time.
You need all of that.
So I don't know. I'm not a kid anymore. She's 71, I'm 77, so,
I'm still a kid.
I think finally, if we find out, our survey wasn't very, surveys don't get big returns, especially around here. So I don't know, maybe a professional outfit.
But with pictures, we might get a better response with
Yes,
pictures.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that, if you can get a better response, but it's tough to figure out what to do.
I'd even, if I were doing a survey, I would do more than just post it online. I'd put it on mostly Millbrook, put it in Reardon Briggs and places and let people stop, or at the library, let them stop in, they can vote in Morona's 47 different places and
Yeah, I agree.
comment. I'd say in the florist, but not anymore.
I know we can't take action because we are in a workshop meeting, but I think from feedback we're getting, the RFP is the process we want to talk more about and perhaps start developing an RFP. We can discuss it at our next meeting, and take formal action there. Does anyone oppose to the RFP process?
Do you have more questions right now? Is that what that is? Before
Well, I think
I'm
we,
not opposed to an RFP, no.
no, this is no.
Okay.
Is anybody opposed?
I'm in favor of it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay,
So,
Danielle and I can start working on it
okay.
in my spare time, which I have none right now. but-
I don't have any right now, but that's okay.
Well, maybe more realistically, we should talk about it for the September meeting. That might be a more realistic goal. Coming with an RFP to the September meeting.
You can also in the meantime, identify
So
some of the firms you might want to submit it to.
Well, I think the public,
that lady that you spoke with at Colliers, would she have like some sort of a mock RFP that
Yes, she gave it to me.
she did? She gave it to you.
Yes.
Could you pass that along so I can review that? Yeah, thanks.
So what were you going to say? I'm sorry, in response to my question.
The RFP process is such that you just legally advertise it, right? And then people choose to
Yes.
respond. Can we invite?
Yes.
Okay, we can.
So that's why I'm saying if you can find out some of the firms you might like, even if they don't respond,
Right, we can invite them. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Met
like a plan.
a bunch of people in the city.
Yeah. I'd also ask some of the architectural firms around here if they know anybody who does that, and I'd also ask John Vesey if he knows anybody, if he's encountered anybody.
From his Hoboken experience?
Exactly.
Okay.
Anybody?
Is there anything else we need to do today for you, Danielle?
I don't think so, unless you would like a little bit of an update that's going on at the pool right now.
Sure.
So the water is pretty low at the pool. So I kind of got worried about the water. So I reached out to Cornell Cooperative Extension and said, my worry was, are we running out of water in the area? Where is the water still coming in, but our reservoir is not holding it, or what's the deal? And so my question was, I see that it's low, planning for the future, should we be worrying about water running out? And he said, the location shows that there are several sources of water. My other question was if, he said that we might want to look at dredging the reservoir. Has anybody known of it ever being dredged?
Which
No.
reservoir is this?
Where?
I think they,
That's on the
many
west
years
side.
ago, they
Between the
did
soccer field and the,
not a major dredging, but they did like a
That's a
backhoe
pond?
dredging.
You mean the
of the
fish
sides.
pond?
Yeah,
That's the reservoir?
yeah.
So that's the
I thought
spot
that was
that
a
holds
fish
our
pond.
water that goes into the pool.
that's
So now-
pre-chlorination.
Correct. So
Okay.
now the pool is pretty low, and that was my concern is.
I get it,
it's
that
low
makes
right
sense.
now.
I have a
So-
question, like with this major storm the other day, it didn't go up at all?
I don't know, no.
Didn't.
Because, I mean, the pool that I
There's no water
watched,
even going
it overflowed because of all that rain.
It's not even going over the spill line. It's that low.
Interesting.
So
Is it
dredging won't
spring-
help if
is
it's
it
not put in the
springtime?
spillway.
I'm sorry, the spillway that I'm talking about is at the pool. The dredging is happening over at the
Okay.
other side. So right now, so for example, 2 years ago, I asked Matt to go into that same pool area, the reservoir that we're calling it, and give me a depth on it because we were considering having trout put in that space, and you have to have it at least 10 feet or deeper to put trout in, and he found it to be 8 feet in the center of it. So he went today and did that same thing, and he got
6 feet.
7
Oh, okay.
7 feet 6 inches or 7 feet 4 inches or something. Oh, 7.6.
So
So it is,
let me ask a simple question. If, in fact, we don't get enough more rain, which would be the simple solution to the problem, right?
Right.
The only other solution would be to bring in water, right?
well, it seems like the
Like other
solution
people
is-
do for their pools.
It has, I found out from one of the old lifeguards from 20 years ago that it has been lower than that in the past.
Okay.
But it's uncomfortable to me, from what I've seen so far, that I think is pretty low. It's way far down on the 9-foot dock,
Okay.
and I'm comfortable with seeing.
Why don't you let more water in from the reservoir?
Well, the thought, Matt was worried that the reservoir would dry up if he put too much of that.
That's what we always did. We always took the water from the reservoir, put it in the pool. We had many droughts where the pool water went way down, and we just kept doing it. And you could take a walk, up the hills and see, there's quite a few streams that feed that. I mean, they're far up on like McDale's property and stuff like that, but
And they
There's
still
plenty
are
of water.
feeding it, right.
plenty of water up there. And
So then the dredging is the issue.
Well, eventually you might want to dredge the pool, but you might not.
Short term, it sounds like we can have more
And you
water.
may never use the reservoir again if you decide someday to build a cement pool.
You may not want to dredge it
Well,
while you have everything going on. 'cause
That's
it's not
something else I
pretty.
want to bring up. So the existing dam does have plenty of cracks, and I think that you added those steel beams across it, right? So the reason for the steel beams were,
Well, the dam is, I had a cement engineer come and examine the dam, and they said the dam isn't going anywhere. And the only thing was when we had heavy rains, the rains would overspill the
Here's
sides
the pool.
and push those cement
Here's
sides
the
in on the street,
dam
so we put the
between-
steel girders
It's like a
across.
wall to the
So
reservoir.
that can't happen. So the cement sides
You go in
are
at
now
the gate,
stable,
make a left.
no matter how much.
Okay, it's that wall.
and how long
Over.
ago was that they came to get cement?
Probably 8-10 years ago. I mean, when we have heavy rain, you could see a little bit of water coming through a few of those cracks, but I mean, you could have somebody look at it, but the Boscar Deans looked at it and they said that dam isn't going anywhere. And the the dam people, the environmental people, the EPA or whoever they are that examine all the dams around,
The DEC?
they've looked at it before and they don't comment. So,
Well, if we dredge it, then it's gonna have more pressure against it, so that was my concern with the dam. Whether, if we did dredge it and there's more water that's entering in it now, because it could hold more, then will that dam be able to hold it?
But wait a minute, you would dredge because if there's low water, how is dredging gonna solve?
Well, now it has all the silt
well, it'll
on top of
hold
it,
more water.
so you're pulling all the, like in a regular pool, if you had leaves
Right,
from the fall
right.
that landed in it and you wanted to clean it out, you could fill more in it because you're taking.
But what I'm saying is the problem is not lack of volume to put the water. Isn't it like there's just not enough water? Isn't
I-
that the problem?
I have a question. So do you see the reservoir being low?
Yes.
You did, the reservoir is
She said-
also being low.
She says
in
it's a
addition
half a foot lower than it was last time. It was 8 feet and it's
The
now 7.5.
reservoirs, okay, okay.
And it is a drought, I mean, we're in a
All
drought
right,
right now, so.
we are, but we had a huge amount of rainfall. So I would, like as Bob says, I would suggest putting water in because it sounds like if there's a lot of feed for the pond, then that would also fill up as well.
So-
Do you-
Try
Isn't
Yeah,
it the
understand.
focus of the reservoir?
Right.
Try putting some
yeah,
water in,
right.
see what happens if you don't get, I mean, so let's ask the hypothetical. If the streams are not refilling, let's say she puts the water into the pool and the streams are not really refilling the reservoir sufficiently, what do we do then? That's the question, I
Well, I
guess.
think the pool's open for 25 more days. I think
I'm
this
asking
is
a
a-
question.
This is a next year problem, and we might have a RFP out by then. Like, I think that under the guise of this publicly noticed meeting, this is a workshop meeting about the feasibility
Agreed.
plan, and this is a daily operation issue.
I agree, I mean, but it is one of those kinds of questions where if you have 25 days and let's say she fills the pool and we continue with the drought, which is not what's supposed to happen because it's supposed to rain, I think, the end of this week again, or next week. But if, it's just something we need to think about, is there any sort of health issue if the pool gets too low? And I don't know that, you can tell me. So that's the only thing I'd be concerned about.
At this point,
The tributaries that fill the reservoir are pretty substantial.
Then we're back to
Yeah.
try filling the pool
Yeah.
and see what happens.
And we've
We
had
definitely
many
do
dry,
that.
like I think 22, it was an extremely dry summer. We didn't get rain for like
Oh,
at least
yeah.
12
Yeah.
weeks. And I don't know what the situation was with the reservoir at that time, but it seems like they made it through. you
It
know,
seemed
Unless
that-
circumstances.
That's why it's
have
worth
changed.
trying.
I don't know
It's
if
just,
it was-
we have to have in the back of their minds, if there's a health issue, we have to figure out a
If there's a health
solution.
issue, we'll have to close the pool.
Or you truck in some water.
Or truck in water,
You truck in
absolutely.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are your choices.
But I would
I don't
immediately
think
let
you'll
more
have to
water.
do that.
No, well, that's what I'm hearing, but I figure you just have to think about the two options. So just see what happens.
Just leave a little bit of water in the reservoir.
All right,
okay,
everybody good? I mean,
Okay, we good?
we're good.
yeah.
Well,
All right, let's adjourn the workshop, and thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
This is a workshop, so we can't make, there's no action taken.